this is Callie from Soulcraft Sisters. Welcome to your full moon reading. And on this full moon, let's take some time to reflect on our intentions and our dreams. If you're anything like me, then I set new intentions and I check in with my intentions for the coming lunar cycle on the new moons, and then on the full moons I sort of check in with how that's going. So I invite you to do the same thing. Otherwise, the full moon is a great time to also reflect on what gives you joy in this life, so what are you grateful for, and also what needs to be released. If you feel like you're carrying a load of something, it could be mental blockages or creative blockages or whatever it might be for you. If it might also be you need to forgive something or someone or yourself. Full moon is a great time to just sit, create some space, and release that. So this reading is all about giving you some inspiration and some perhaps an angle for you to help you as you go about this. I pulled a collective card for us, a collective message for us from Sandra Kuhn's The Messenger cards. And the card that came up this time around was this beautiful white stallion here, and it says across the sky. And the message that's coming through here is it's letting us know to be our wild essence, our wild self, and that we have every right to be here just as much as the sun and the moon and the stars and anybody else who's here. We don't need to ask anybody for permission to be. We just are, and that's perfect. There's nothing that we need to fix outside of ourselves. We just need to focus on our pace and our wildness and what it is to be us, as individuals and as a collective. So it's a message saying, don't let anything hold you back, because there's nothing that's actually holding us back. The only thing that might be holding us back are ourselves, or an idea that we are, this idea that we're separate and that we don't have maybe a say in what happens in our lives. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. We are all white stallions here doing our very best and having as much right as any other thing in this universe to be here. So let's celebrate that. So let's look into the 4 elements as we usually do here. And if you're new to this, just have a look at the screen and look at the symbols for the 4 elements and pick the one that sort of stands out to you. The idea here is to use these messages and these cards that I've pulled to think about what it is that's going on in your life at this moment. Alright, so once you've done that, let's look into the earth element. And for you guys, we got the 3 of spheres, which is also normally known as the 3 of pentacles. And here we see this a Gothic window here, which takes quite a lot of crafting and knowledge to create a window like this, first of all. So it sort of points to the essence of this. This is all about mastery and skill and expertise and creating something new from something that already exists, maybe from 2 opposing things, and mixing it together and creating something new and beautiful, maybe like this window here. But this card very much talks about this passion for creating and developing and honing in on your skills and becoming the best at what it is that you can, the best at what it is that you do and you feel passionate about. I also feel like there's a communal sense here. So it's like some of you out there are probably passionate about creating something new that's going to be better for the world at large. Yeah, and it's like you have deep feelings about that. So maybe just take a second to reflect on what it is that you've already created, the level of mastery you're already at. Well done, you know. And also, for some of you out there, you might be wondering about money and pouring all your time and attention into a specific project or skill or job or whatever it might be. Is it viable with your, in terms of creating a living out of it? For some of you, that will be something to reflect on. But other than that, you might also want to think of the creative groups that you might be in. What's your role in it? How's it going? And is there something here that you can be that you appreciate and feel grateful for? Then this is the time to take a minute to do that. Okay. Then let's look at the fire element. So you guys, you get the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords here is about this idea of feeling perhaps a little mentally blocked. Maybe you have put an overemphasis on the logical mind and way of thinking, and that might be creating a bit of a cloud in terms of how you can best use your creative skills and voice, etc. Sometimes I think a lot of us know that we are creative beings, that we can manifest, that we can set intention, and we can achieve our dreams. A lot of us know this, and it's not so much about this. It's just once we actually start, then once we've become clear on what it is that we want, and we sort of go about our way the best way we know how, and if we don't see the results, or if we sort of revert back to this very logical way of thinking of things and maybe seeing things in a very linear way, then we can get trapped in this idea that things are not moving ahead, or that you become aware of your limitations, or whatever it might be. And then we have this mental clutter, so to speak, that can give us a sense of being stuck or not moving ahead, or something along those lines. But the advice here is to just take a minute. These are just thoughts, and they're natural. You're human. It happens. It happens to all of us. And the idea is to go back to the why you're doing what you're doing, back into the essence, the heart of it, the heart of what inspires you here. And once you do that and you go, okay, I know, I remember now, these mental blockages are likely to sort of fall away a little bit. But that was the message that wanted to come through for you here. So yeah, for you guys, it's more a matter of what can you release, some convictions that you might want to be ready to release, and sort of just shake off your shoulders, and then you can move forward again. And then for the water element, we've got the turning point for you guys. So this is a major arcana card, and what this is saying, it says the turning point, right? So usually this is the judgment card. And here it's like you guys have done a great job at looking at some old convictions, some old emotions related to these old convictions, and they might stem from your childhood or like way back, and it's like you've really stopped to look them and stare them straight in the eye and understand that they are not real. And that means that you're sort of ready to release some of those shadows that came along with that and move forward with a lighter load, basically. And also, because you're not bringing the same convictions with you going forward, because you've reached this turning point, you've done the work, you've stopped and stared some things straight in the eyes, which is now why you're ready to move forward with more clarity and less of judgment, as well as of what you meet along the way. So this is really exciting news for you guys. So I would say this is a kind of celebrating that, really patting yourself on the back. Good job. This has not been easy, is something that I want to say here. But yeah, you're ready to move forward with some more lightness and joy. And that's beautiful, beautiful. All right, so let's look at the air element. You get the Three of Flames here, and this is a beautiful card. So the Three of Flames in this deck here, which is the Ananda Tarot, I don't know if I mentioned that, we have, there's this sense of we all are here manifesting in this world with our own light. So these are souls, the way I see it, beams of light. And these other beams here in your peripheral view are perhaps your family, your friends, or other souls that are close to you and that are sort of integral in your life here on earth. And it's as you can also see, we all sort of come from the same beam of light. So there's that reference to this, that we're all one, we're all from the same light, right? But what this card is also saying is that there is a respect about how we have chosen to incarnate down here. So just trust that everything is developing in perfect order. We each have our own stories, we each have our own challenges and joys, etc. And that's all perfect. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. You don't need to fix anything, and nobody needs to come and fix you. But it's this sense of just stopping and enjoying that notion, and celebrating your friends and family, because that seems to be important to you. And also there's this deep, it's almost like a sigh of relief. Everything is perfect. Oh, I don't need to worry about that person that I've been worried about. I don't actually need to do that. I know. So this is a reminder of that. And just to trust in your own strengths, your own light, and the light and strengths of the people that you hold dear. They're fine. They'll be okay. Everything is working out. Trust that. And once we trust that, because sometimes we get caught up in, life, and we lose perspective of that. But when we sort of remind ourselves, then we actually grow from it, and we become able to love in a more mature and sort of passionate way, and that's very, very beautiful. So I hope these messages gave you something to think about and help you reflect on what needs to be shaken up and what needs to be thanked. So those were the messages that came through to us on this full moon. And I just want to say here lastly, I will see you either in your own private reading. You are welcome to have a look at our website, or otherwise I'll see you again at the end of October, I think around the 30th if I'm not wrong, for the next new moon reading. So take care everybody, bye.